Excel has a load of AI tools already built in that we can use to improve productivity and make our lives easier. There are AI tools that will clean data, analyze it for you, create automatic forecasts, and even write custom Lambda functions. And that's all before Copilot gets added. I told you, not yet. Sorry, bit keen. Plus, I'm going to show you a tool that's so new, it's still in development. So stay tuned till the end. Let's start with the data cleaning tools. Here I have a list of names that I want to split into separate columns. With Flash Fill, I can simply give it an example or two, and Excel will give me a preview of what it thinks I need. All I need to do is press Enter to accept it. The only catch is I have to do one column at a time, but in the scheme of things, that's no big deal. If you have some inconsistent data, you can give an example of the different permutations and then trigger Flash Fill using the keyboard shortcut Control-E. Pretty cool. And you can see here, Flash Fill also works with dates. There are a load more examples in my comprehensive Flash Fill video here. Now the downside of Flash Fill is that if your data changes, you have to manually trigger the Flash Fill again. So if you expect your data to update, then Power Query's column from example is going to be more efficient. Here I've got a table where the name and position are concatenated in one column, which is a big no-no. Let's go ahead and load the data to Power Query. It's already in a table, so all I need to do is go to the Data tab and load it from Table Range. I want to add a column that extracts the position, so I'm going to go to the Add Column tab and then Column from Examples. And all I need to do is give it an example of the result that I want, and just like that it's detected the pattern. In this case it is pretty easy because it is already comma separated in the name and position column. But what's really cool is that it's showing me the formula that it's going to use. All I need to do here is click OK and it adds the column for me. Let's rename it and I'm good to close and load. So we'll go close and load to. We'll put it on this worksheet. I'll just pop it over here. And there's my data in the correct format. Now the beauty of this is if I add a record to my source data, all I need to do is right click my query table and refresh. And boom, there's my record. All right. That was an easy example. Let's look at something harder. Here I have a table of meeting rooms and when they're booked. I'd like to count the number of days each room is booked. Let's load the data to Power Query. Remember here I want to count the number of days the meeting rooms are booked. Meeting room 1 is booked 2 days this week. And meeting room 2 is booked 1 day. So we're going to have to give this a few examples. It thinks it's detected a pattern, but we can see meeting room 3 is booked every day. So let's fix that. And it's correctly detected the rest. But what's really cool is it's written the formula for me. And we can see here it's using the list.nonNullCount function. I didn't even need to know about that function. All I need to do now is click OK. It's added my count column and put the formula in for me. All I need to do now is close and load to. We'll put this on the same worksheet and I'll just pop it one column to the right of my table so it's out of the way. So there are just a couple of examples. But Power Query can work with all sorts of data, including dates, time, arithmetic, and more. So be sure to give it a go next time you're adding columns or cleaning data in Power Query. If you're not sure how to analyze your data, or you're new to PivotTables, then recommended PivotTables will analyze your data and make some suggestions. Just point and click. Simply select a cell in the table, and then on the Insert tab, you want Recommended PivotTables. It opens up in a pane on the right-hand side. I'm just going to left-click and drag it out and bring it closer to my data. Excel analyzes your data for you and identifies possible ways you might want to summarize it. Click on the Insert buttons, either New Sheet or Existing Sheet, at the bottom of each suggested pivot table. You can see there's 10 altogether. I can click on this to show all 10 results. Let's choose a pivot table. I'll put it on an existing sheet and just here beside my data. And now I can work with this just like any other pivot table. Changing the formatting, for example. Let's get rid of the decimal places. I can add more fields if I want. You can see it works just like a regular pivot table because it is. I just haven't had to do all the work of building it from scratch. And if I want more of the recommended pivot tables, I can just continue scrolling through and choose the next one. Similarly, recommended charts will make suggestions based on your data. You'll find it on the Insert tab and then Recommended Charts. It can suggest regular charts or pivot charts. It just depends on the data. Selecting a chart on the left gives you a preview on the right. And when you've chosen the one you want, simply click OK. And now I can work with this like any old chart. For example, let's say I want to get rid of my horizontal axis, add data labels, and I'll get rid of the grid lines. Job done. Analyze Data is an AI-powered service that automatically identifies patterns, correlations, and outliers in your data and provides you with charts and pivot tables that you can insert into your workbook. And because it's powered by machine learning, it will provide increasingly advanced analysis as usage grows. So try it out. I like to use Analyze Data when I receive a new dataset that I'm not familiar with. Ideally, your data should be in a tabular layout and formatted in an Excel table, like I have here. The more category type columns in your dataset, the more opportunities Excel has to group the data and find interesting correlations, trends, and patterns. You'll find Analyze Data on the Home tab of the ribbon and over on the far right. It opens in a task pane, and you can left click and drag to pull it out closer to your data. The first suggestion is a pivot table. I can go ahead and insert it. I've also got some charts. It looks for trends, patterns, outliers, and correlations. There's some more results here. Let's expand that. Once you choose the chart you want, go ahead and insert it, and then you can just work with it like any other chart. If you don't like the one you've chosen, simply click on it and press delete. Now, one of the cool things about Analyze Data is you can also ask it a question using natural language. For example, let's say I want to display the total visitors by destination as a column chart. It's going to generate a pivot chart. That looks pretty good. I'll insert pivot chart. We can see here it's inserted a new sheet that contains my pivot table and the pivot chart. Excel forecast sheets automatically generate formulas to predict the future values and present the results in a nice chart for you. They require historical time-based data in a tabular layout that contains a column with dates or times at consistent intervals and a column for the values. Creating a forecast is super easy. Go to the Data tab and then Forecast Sheet. At the dialog box here, you can set the confidence intervals, seasonality, and various other things. I'll leave them at the defaults. You can experiment with them yourself. Clicking Create inserts a new sheet in the file containing a copy of your data, the formulas, and a chart. Pretty easy, huh? For a comprehensive video on forecast sheets, check out this one. Excel Labs, formerly called the Advanced Formula Environment, can convert formulas to custom Lambda functions from examples in the grid. Here in columns C, D, and E, I have 3 separate formulas to extract the product code from column B. I want to convert these formulas into a Lambda function that I can use again and again, so I don't have to remember how to write these long, complicated formulas. If you haven't already got Excel Labs installed, you can do so via the Home tab and then Add-ins. Click on Get Add-ins to search for it. Here, type in Excel Labs and press Enter. There it is. I'll close that down because I've already installed it. It appears on your Home tab, so click on Excel Labs. The first time you use it, you have to choose it from the Excel Labs pane, but you can choose Remember this choice, so next time it goes straight to it. I'll go ahead and open it. Let's left click and drag it out so it's closer to the formula. To create a custom function using Excel Labs, go to the Names tab and then click on the icon of the grid with the little plus sign. We're going to add a function from grid. The range containing the calculation are the 3 cells that have my formulas. The cells to treat as parameters, that's cell B5, which is the cell containing the text I want to split. And the output cell is E5, that's the cell that contains the final result. Let's preview it. I'll give it a bit more space. So there's my function. I haven't had to write a single line of code. Amazing. It's taken the 3 separate formulas from the cells and written the Lambda for me. We can change the function name. For example, let's get rid of the underscore. I'll go ahead and create it. You can see it there listed in my Functions tab. Let's use it in the grid. Equals product. And you can see it appears in the autocomplete. I can simply use my arrow keys to navigate and tab to select it. The string is in cell B5. I'll close parentheses, and there's the result. I'll double click to copy it down, just like a regular formula. Amazing! I haven't needed to know how to write a lambda to create my own custom function. And it travels with this workbook, so any Microsoft 365 users you share it with can also use it. Now there's a load more to the Excel Labs advanced formula environment that you should check out in the video here. We just saw Excel write a complicated lambda formula based on formulas I'd already written. But how about having Excel do all the work from scratch? Now that would be life-changing. Now the features I'm about to show you are so new, it's still in development, and they're currently only available in Excel Online for all US English users of Microsoft 365 with a personal or family subscription. Let's take a look. Let's look at splitting this text into first name and last name columns. I'll just give it a couple of examples. It's detected a pattern and it's suggesting I use a formula. If you think it's going to get the formula right, you can jump to click apply. Incredible. Notice it also corrects the case, detecting that I also want uppercase first initial. We can see it's built into the formula with the use of the proper function. Let's see how it handles the surname. Let's take a look at the formula this time. Now this is a bit more complicated because it's realized that some names have a middle initial and it needs to allow for that. It hasn't handled the case sensitivity here, and that's probably because I didn't get to give it the example for bond. But I can go ahead and fix the ones it got wrong. And it's detected that the formula needs modifying. We can see here it's added the proper function. And notice it's updated the formula for all the cells in the column, auto-correcting itself. It can also rearrange data. For example, here I might want my phone numbers separated with a hyphen between each set of 3 digits. Let's give it a few examples. And we'll take a look at the formula. That formula is quite long. It's a bit hard to get my head around, so let's take a gamble and see what it looks like. Looks like it got it right. It's correctly added the hyphen between each set of 3 digits. Good to go. Formula by example can also handle math equations. It's triggered when it detects the manual entry of data that it thinks it can calculate with a formula. It's detected that I appear to be multiplying the quantity times the price, and we can see here it's even corrected my hard-keyed entries with the formulas. And that way, if I change anything in the table, it's going to feed through to that column and update automatically. Incredible. That's just a few examples, but check out the video here for my comprehensive tutorial on formula by example for other cool things it can do. Thanks for watching.